What's going on, everyone? Today I'm very excited to show you a first look at the new IKEA smart home devices that just hit the market recently. IKEA announced 21 products, but I was only able to find these 5 so far. They have light bulbs, smart plugs, and more in this lineup. These are their new Matter over Thread smart home devices that a lot of us are super pumped to take a look at. They are very affordable and could really change the smart home space. I believe this could finally make the smart home more accessible for everyone. And like I said, they're Matter over Thread, which means they will most likely work with your ecosystem without the need of their proprietary hub from IKEA. This video is a bit different. I want to bring you along as I unbox them and pair them to my smart home, which is Apple Home. I'll be making more future videos using these devices, but this is more of a first look. Now, let's unbox them and get them paired with my smart home. Now, if you're wondering why there's some AAA batteries over here, all of these sensors and the button, they actually work with AAA batteries. So you don't have to rely on those weird coin cell batteries that are kind of pricey, and you could probably get rechargeable ones, which is a plus for me. Okay, starting from the left, we have the water leak sensor. This sensor is $7.99 right now. Like I said, it is Matter over Thread, even though we don't have the Thread logo anywhere here. This is the name. I'm not going to try to pronounce that because I'm probably going to butcher all of them. And like I said, 2 AAA batteries. Now let's unbox it real quick and see how it comes with. For me, this is the most important one here in my smart home. Owning a house, I want to make sure that there's no water leak anywhere. And the fact that this is $7.99, I can literally put this everywhere in my house without spending hundreds of dollars. So, and one of the cool things about this one compared to the others that I found is the fact that it has a built-in alarm. So if there's any leak that this is detecting, you'll be able to find it by just the sound from the sensor itself that is detecting the water leak. Okay, you get some documentation as well as the Matter logo right here, and you get a Matter logo on the actual device as well. And this is exactly where those pins are, the one that detect the water. Now I'm gonna unbox this so I can put some batteries in there, some AAA. You're probably gonna need a tool like this to be able to open the battery compartment on all of them actually. And right away, you get some light, and then let's try to pair this to my smart home. Bring the app. I'm gonna scan the device right there. I'm gonna leave it in the studio, and that's the name that we're gonna get. And that is the sensor right there. It tells you right there there's no water leak, as well as the battery and some of the information like the firmware update. You can turn on pairing. And apparently there's an update already available, which is, if we go back here, you get to see that there's actually a update. I can do it straight from Apple Home. If I go here and it tells me right away, there's an update version 1.01.11. Awesome. So I'll do that later. Now I actually want to bring something so we can test the water leak sensor. So I'll be back. All right, so I brought a plate and some water, but first I'm going to close the water leak sensor. And then I'm going to put it right here on this plate, and I'm going to pour some water so we can test how responsive it is and the alarm. Notification right away on your phone. And here's how the notification looks on your phone if there's a leak detected in the room that the sensor is located. Let me turn this off. Next, we're going to do the contact and door and window sensor. Again, the Matter logo at the front, and that's the name of the sensor. Oh, and by the way, 1 AAA battery. The price of this contact sensor is $7.99. You get both the contact sensor and the battery, as well as a documentation with the Matter code. So here's the battery with some 3M double-side tape, as well as the contact sensor with the Matter code on the side. Now let's open this up. All right, so now let's add it to my smart home. I'm gonna leave it there in the studio. Let's leave that name. And you get all those options if you want to have it as blinds, contact sensor, door, garage door, and window. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And now let's view it in home. So right now the state is closed, but if I open it, you get an instant. You get battery level as well as all the information like the firmware version 1.09. Now let's move on to the next one, which is the motion sensor. Now this sensor is a little bit on the large side. Here's the name of it. It is $7.99 as well, and it uses 2 AAA batteries. Same concept, you get documentation with the matter code, and here's the sensor. Like I said, it's a little bit on the large side. I don't know if you can use this for scale, but now let's open this up real quick. Take that, and there's 2 little adhesive tape right there, and then here's the battery compartment. You also get the matter code in there. Now let's add it to my smart home. All right, we're gonna leave it in my studio, and that is the name. And you get those 2 sensors out of it. You get a light sensor and a presence sensor. Here's everything. And with the light sensor, it's actually saying that is 204 lux here in the room. You can actually run automation based on the brightness of a room and get the battery level as well as all the other information. And now I want to test how accurate and responsive this is. So, okay, so right now it's not detecting anything. So let's see how responsive it is. Probably instantly. That's pretty good. Okay, so I don't have the information right now, but I'm gonna put on the screen the degree of the sensor, so that way you guys know, but it's actually not bad. Now moving on to the next one, and that would be the famous button right now. I believe this button is $5.99, which is a great deal, to be honest. Again, it is matter over thread, and there's actually 2 buttons there, and that is the name. It uses 2 AAA batteries. So here's the button, you get the matter code, and you get a metal plate in case you want to stick it somewhere. All right, so let's open that up. Oh, and by the way, you also get a matter code under it. Wow, within the first try again, setting up. Okay, so because this switch has 2 buttons, there is a button 1 and button 2. And they all have single, double press, and long press. So you can customize this for multiple things. So double press, and then the long press, and as well as single press. This is definitely a good purchase, I would say. $5.99 for a button that you can control your smart blinds, your lights, just pretty much anything that you have in your smart home. You can control this. You can even run scenes like, run the vacuum or anything like that. So this is definitely a good one. $5.99, matter over thread, and pretty small. And I like the sound of this. Very, very subtle. So good job, IKEA. Now let's move on to the final, and this is the humidity and temperature sensor. This is the name of it, and it uses 2 AAA batteries. Alrighty, you get the matter code, and I'm sure there's documentation over there. Now, while it's adding to my Apple Home, I wanted to show you that in the back of it, you could actually change it from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So that's actually really nice. You could do it physically in the sensor. And there you go. Because I have it in Fahrenheit, I actually get to see the reading in Fahrenheit. Now, one thing I noticed that I was reading about it is the fact that if you want to see the temperature of this sensor, you actually have to press it, which is terrible in my opinion. Because if I'm walking into a room, I have to press this in order for me to see the actual temperature. I don't know who designed this. I just wish it wasn't like this, but something to be aware of. That's kind of bad in my opinion, but there you go. And there you have it, 5 of the new matter over thread devices from IKEA. So make sure you subscribe if you want to know more about my experience with them in the future. Also, make sure you follow me on social media. I'm actually going to be in Vegas for CES 2026. So follow me over there for some behind the scene content, and hopefully we get to see more Matter over Thread products announcements. I really hope you liked this video, and if you did, please hit the like button. I know it's a bit different than my usual content, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.